Superman.
Miss Lane.
$583 million. That's what Superman made in 2025. Not a billion, not even close. And yet, this might be the most important superhero movie in a decade. Here's why. While Marvel was busy killing Tony Stark's legacy with multiverse garbage, while DC was rebooting for the 5th time, James Gunn did something Hollywood forgot how to do. He made a hero you actually want to be. Not because he's cool, not because he's dark, but because he gives a damn. Welcome to 25th Frame. Today we're breaking down Superman 2025. Not just what worked, not just what failed, but why this movie is either the blueprint for saving superhero cinema or proof the genre is beyond repair. If you stay until the end, I'll show you the one scene that explains why a dog just saved DC's entire universe. But first, smash that subscribe button, because we're about to talk about sincerity in a world that forgot what that word means. Let's go. The exhaustion era. Let's be honest, by 2025, superhero fatigue wasn't a theory, it was a diagnosis. The Marvels bombed, Madam Web became a meme, Joker Folie à Deux actively insulted its audience, and audiences responded by staying home. Superhero movies weren't just declining, they were becoming cultural punching bags. So when James Gunn announced he was rebooting Superman, the internet collectively groaned. Another origin story? Another earnest speech about hope? In 2025? Gunn, who made Guardians of the Galaxy work by being irreverent, was now tasked with playing it straight, and nobody thought it would work. But here's what people missed. Gunn wasn't making a superhero movie. He was making an anti-cynicism movie, and cynicism is the real villain of 2025. What is cynicism anyway? Before we go further, let's define the enemy. Cynicism isn't skepticism. It's not questioning authority or calling out BS. Cynicism is the belief that everything is secretly bad, that heroism is performance, that kindness is manipulation, that sincerity is stupid. It's the worldview that says nobody actually cares, everyone's faking it. And for the last 15 years, superhero movies fed that cynicism. Batman kills people now. Iron Man is a war profiteer. The Avengers cause more damage than they prevent. Even Superman, in Zack Snyder's hands, became a brooding god questioning if humans deserve saving. Cynicism sold tickets. Until it didn't. By 2025, audiences were exhausted. Not from superheroes, from despair. Enter James Gunn, with a script that does something radical. It believes in Superman. Not ironically, not with a wink, but earnestly, like a kid reading Action Comics in 1938. And the critics called it corny, the fans called it cringe. But 8 months later, with $500 million earned and a cultural conversation reignited, we're asking a different question. What if corny is exactly what we needed? Comment below, are you Team Sincerity or Team Cynicism? Because this movie is forcing everyone to pick a side. Krypto, the dog that stole the movie. A rescue dog named Ozu. Let's talk about the most important character in the film. Krypto, Superman's dog, who according to James Gunn is based on his real-life rescue dog Ozu. Gunn adopted Ozu while writing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Ozu became the emotional anchor for Rocket Raccoon's arc. Now, Krypto is doing the same for Superman. Here's what makes Krypto brilliant. He's not a gimmick. He's not comic relief. He's a mirror. When Clark Kent is struggling with isolation, Krypto is also alone. When Clark learns to trust humanity, Krypto learns to trust Clark. The movie opens with both of them as strays. One alien trying to fit in on Earth, one dog trying to survive in a world that abandoned him. And their bond isn't instant. Krypto bites Clark in their first meeting. He doesn't trust easily. But over time, through patience and care, they become a team. That's the thesis of the movie. Trust isn't given, it's earned. And Gunn, who spent his career writing about broken people finding family, knows how to make that resonate. The cultural impact. Now here's where it gets wild. After Superman released in July 2025, animal shelters reported a 513% increase in dog adoption inquiries. Not purchases, adoptions. People weren't buying purebreds, they were rescuing strays, naming them Krypto. The Washington Post ran a story, The Superman Effect, how a fictional dog saved real lives. Because here's the thing, Krypto isn't just cute, he represents something deeper. The idea that the broken, the abandoned, the unwanted deserve a chance. And when Superman, the ultimate symbol of hope, chooses a rescue dog, he's saying something. Power isn't about perfection, it's about who you protect. If you teared up during the Krypto scenes, hit that like button, because Gunn knew exactly what he was doing. Now let's talk about the villain, Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult. And this is not your father's Lex. This isn't Gene Hackman's campy real estate scam. This isn't Kevin Spacey's over-the-top theatrics. This isn't even Jesse Eisenberg's twitchy Silicon Valley parody. This is Lex Luthor as Elon Musk, as Mark Zuckerberg, as every tech billionaire who genuinely believes he's saving the world by controlling it. Hoult plays Lex as calm, charismatic, and terrifyingly reasonable. He's not evil, he's pragmatic. He doesn't hate Superman because he's jealous. He hates Superman because Superman makes humanity weak. Lex's philosophy is simple. If people believe a god will save them, they stop saving themselves. And in 2025, that message resonates. We live in a world where billionaires control media, manipulate elections, and call it innovation, where misinformation spreads faster than truth, where trust in institutions is collapsing. Lex Luthor isn't a comic book villain. He's a documentary. The media manipulation. Gunn's script gets specific. Lex doesn't fight Superman with kryptonite. He fights him with bots, deepfakes, viral misinformation campaigns. There's a scene where Lex's team fabricates footage of Superman attacking civilians. Within hours, it's trending worldwide. #SupermanThreat. And Clark Kent, working as a journalist at the Daily Planet, watches the internet turn against him in real time. He can't punch his way out of this, because the enemy isn't physical, it's perception. And Lex controls the narrative. This is the most politically relevant superhero movie since The Dark Knight. It's not about left versus right, it's about truth versus manipulation. And the scariest part? Lex almost wins, because in 2025, controlling the story is more powerful than controlling the bombs. Drop a comment. Is Lex Luthor the most realistic villain in superhero history, or is Gunn trying too hard to be relevant? The sincerity problem. Why people hated it. Now, let's address the backlash, because Superman didn't just divide critics, it split the fanbase in half. Rotten Tomatoes, 82% fresh. Audience score, 78%. That's not bad, but it's not great either. And the negative reviews all say the same thing. It's too corny. It's Guardians of the Galaxy in a cape. Superman says golly unironically. And they're right. This movie is aggressively sincere. There's a scene where Superman stops mid-battle to save a squirrel stuck in a tree. Not because it's strategic, because it's the right thing to do. And half the audience laughed. The other half cried. That's the divide. If you grew up on Zack Snyder's Superman, this feels like a betrayal. Snyder's Clark was a god questioning humanity. Gunn's Clark is a farm boy who believes in people even when they don't believe in themselves. Snyder's Superman was Jesus on the cross. Gunn's Superman is Mr. Rogers with heat vision. And for modern audiences raised on irony, that's uncomfortable. The Guardians problem. Here's the other complaint. James Gunn made Superman feel like a Guardians movie. Quippy dialogue, needle drops during action scenes, a ragtag team of heroes with conflicting personalities. Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific show up, and they bicker and crack jokes. And yes, it works in Guardians, but Superman isn't Star-Lord. He's an icon, the blueprint for every superhero that followed, and turning him into space cop with a good heart feels reductive. Critics said Gunn is great at ensemble casts, but Superman should stand alone. And honestly, they're not wrong. The movie's weakest scenes are when it tries to set up future Justice League members, because we don't need world building, we need to believe in this one man. Now, before we get to the ending, I want to ask you something. If you've made it this far, you're clearly invested, so subscribe to 25th Frame, because we're doing deep dives on every major release, every cultural shift, every moment where movies reflect who we are. Your support keeps this channel alive. Hit that button. Let's keep this going. The one scene that explains everything. The rooftop conversation. Now let's talk about the scene everyone remembers. Clark Kent and Lois Lane on a rooftop after the world has turned against Superman, after Alexa's misinformation campaign has convinced half the planet that Superman is a threat. Clark is exhausted, not physically, emotionally, and he asks Lois the question we've all asked. Why do I keep trying when they don't want me to? And Lois, played brilliantly by Rachel Brosnahan, doesn't give him a pep talk. She tells him the truth. Because you're not doing this for applause. You're doing this because it's right. And that's the one thing they can't take from you. This is the thesis of the movie. Heroism isn't about being loved. It's about doing good even when nobody's watching, even when they hate you for it, even when it costs you everything. And Clark realizes something. He's been trying to earn humanity's trust, but trust isn't transactional. You can't force people to believe in you. You just keep showing up, again and again, until one day, they do. That's the antidote to cynicism. Not proof, not logic, consistency. And Gunn, who's built his entire career on stories about broken people choosing to be better, nails it. This scene doesn't fix the movie's flaws, but it clarifies its purpose. Superman isn't here to save the world. He's here to remind us we're worth saving. If this scene hit you emotionally, comment below. I want to know if I'm the only one who teared up. The dog, the legacy, the future. Why Krypto matters more than the plot. Let's circle back to Krypto, because here's the secret. The dog is the most important part of the movie. Not Superman's powers, not Lex's schemes. Krypto, a stray who finds a home, an outcast who finds belonging, a creature who can't speak but understands everything. Gunn didn't just add Krypto for merchandising. He added Krypto because the relationship between a man and his dog is the purest form of trust. Dogs don't care about your flaws. They don't judge your mistakes. They just love you, unconditionally. And that's what humanity needs to learn about Superman. He's not here to be perfect. He's here to care, even when we don't deserve it. The final scene of the movie is Superman and Krypto sitting on a rooftop, watching the sunrise. No dialogue, just a man and his dog. And the message is clear. Heroism isn't grand speeches. It's small moments of connection. It's showing up. It's staying. The box office question. So why didn't Superman make $1 billion? Honestly, because audiences are tired. Not of Superman, of superhero movies that demand they care about 20 interconnected franchises. Superman made $583 million. That's enough to be profitable, enough to greenlight a sequel. But it's not Endgame. And maybe that's okay, because Endgame was the end of an era built on spectacle. Superman is the beginning of an era built on sincerity. And sincerity doesn't explode on opening weekend. It grows, slowly, quietly, until one day you realize it changed everything. What comes next? James Gunn has 4 more DC movies planned. The Authority, Supergirl, Batman the Brave and the Bold. And if they follow Superman's lead, we're looking at a universe built on hope, not trauma, on trust, not cynicism, on heroes who inspire, not heroes who brood. Will it work? I don't know. But I know this. In a world where everything feels fake, where irony is armor, where caring is cringe, Superman asked us to try something radical. Believe. Not because it's easy, because it's necessary. And if a movie about a guy in a cape and his rescue dog can make people adopt shelter animals, can make people debate sincerity versus cynicism, can make people cry over a rooftop conversation, then maybe, just maybe, we're not as lost as we think. So here's my question for you. Did Superman save superhero movies, or did it prove the genre is evolving into something smaller, quieter, more personal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everything. And if you made it this far, you're part of the 25th Frame family. Subscribe if you haven't, because we're breaking down the movies that matter, not just the spectacle, the meaning. This is 25th Frame. And remember, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is care when everyone else has given up. See you in the next one.